wabarakatuh. My name is Citra Ainun Nabila. My student number is 87. I want to share my critical reading final exam, that is analyzing short story entitled Hansel and Gretel. The first is plot. The story begins with introduction, rising action, climax, falling action, and then resolution. Introduction is the beginning of the story. In introduction, we meet the character, and then rising action. In the rising action, we watch a series. The stepmother have a plan to leave the kids in the forest because there is not enough food in the home, but at the first trial, the parent leave the kid in the forest. The kid can come back home. Then climax. The climax of the story is when the second trial, the parent want to leave the kids in the forest, and the kids, Hansel and Gretel, really lost in the forest. In falling action, the kids, Hansel and Gretel, meet an old woman that turned out into a witch and want to eat Hansel. Then Gretel shoved the old woman into the oven and they run outside. The resolution of the story is when the old woman stuck her head in the oven. Hansel and Gretel run outside and then meet the swan who's carried them home. And after that, Hansel and Gretel meet their father and found their stepmother had left. And after that, rains come again, crops grow, and there is enough food. And then Hansel and Gretel and their father live happily ever after. The story has an happy ending. The second is character and characterization. Hansel as a main character is protagonist, brave and clever. And then Hansel as a main character is protagonist, spoiled and clever. The father is protagonist and lovely. The stepmother is antagonist, egoist and foxy. Then the old woman or the witch is antagonist, evil, foolish, and this one is protagonist. And then purpose of the story. The purpose of the story, I think the story is symbolized great famine in the Europe in early 14th century. Mother abandoned their children and in some cases even ate them. On the other hand, I think the story is also clearly represent conflict in real life. And then author. The author is Madeline Francis. And then the role of the author in the real life. Madeline Francis is a musical theater performer whose credits include in 42nd Street and the producer. The role of the author in the real life is also create some art by making short story.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Safitriyani. I will present about analysis short story 6 intended readers. Intended readers in this analysis is for children, especially kindergarten and primary school children, because the story talk about fantasy, witch, and picture also appears in the short story that makes it easier for the children. 7. Significance of the story for the readers. Significance of the story for the readers are to entertain and tell the readers to don't Don't trust the stranger. 8. Issue relevant to the story. There are rumors that develop in society that stepmother has been always associated as the bad guy. A stepmother depicted as someone who doesn't love her children, because there are many cases that stepmother mistreating her children. 9. The way of the author write the story. The writing and plot were easy to understand. The characters of the short story have a strong character, and the most important thing is the unique place named Gingerbread House. I was curious why the author chose to name it. And the last analysis is 10. Special figure of characters. I think the special figure of characters in this short story is a swan, because showing up all of the sudden when Hansel and Gretel run outside from the gingerbread house, and the swan also helped them to carry it home. So that's all for me. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry for all the mistake I made. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.